Hi everyone, welcome to class today. Jessie here. Today I have for you guys a fun, short class called Flip Flop. So instead of taking our traditional vinyasas, we'll be switching sides by changing the direction we face on our mat. Other than that, regular vinyasa, it's going to be fun. Grab your blocks and just use them when you want them. I'm not going to do any specific block drills today, but you guys know when to use them. So grab them when you need them. And that's all. Yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to come into child's pose this morning. If child's pose is uncomfortable for you to start with, you're always welcome just to take a seat. So just make yourself comfortable. I'm going to go ahead and actually take a block under my forehead so my mic doesn't get all squished. All right, and then you guys just make yourself comfortable. Wide knees together, you choose. Give yourself a moment to arrive on your mat today. Land yourself in your breath, in your physical body. And just notice if there's any places within you that feel just a little tender or restricted or tight. And just begin to caress those spaces with your breath. So my teacher recently, my prenatal teacher, she has these pillars to her practice, and one of them is reversibility. And I thought that was a really cool thing to consider. Basically these are rules to finding the feminine, and in life, being reversible is, now that I think about it, it's life-changing if you can practice it, and it is a practice. But it basically means that you're open to new ideas, to changing your mind. And I even will use this class as an example. A while ago, when I was younger, my teacher never, ever switched sides on their mat. And so I learned that way. And I remember the first class I took where someone flipped us around to face the other direction. I was like, ugh, what is this? And then over time, I was like, if I didn't do that, would I be missing out on something, right? If I close myself off to the idea of changing perspectives on my mat, am I missing out, right? And that can be applied to so many other things. So the idea is, let your mind be open enough to be changeable. Try not to get stuck in the one way that you think is right. And so today we'll focus a little bit on that reversibility. Go ahead and take 3 more big breaths here. Start to send your breath into the back side of your rib cage if you haven't already. You can start to walk your fingers forward, finding those cupcake hands. Get nice and long through your waist as you send your hips back. Take 1 more breath in. And then exhale, plant your hands down. We'll roll our way up to all fours as you inhale. And as you exhale, just roll your way right back down to child's pose. So leading with those sitting bones. Inhale as you round your spine, roll your body up. Exhale, roll your body back down. And then again, inhale, roll forward. Spread your fingers wide. This time you can just go ahead and start making circles around your knees with your hips, around your wrists with your shoulders. I'm going to bring my knees together a little bit more because you're getting a little too wide. Okay, so just really connect with any physical movement here that's going to feel good in your body. If you haven't already changed direction, change your direction. Mix up your movements if that feels good. Okay, and then we'll land in our all fours position. You can walk your hands in so they arrive directly under the shoulders, knees under your hips. Let's go ahead and flip our hands around so the fingers face your knees, thumbs face the outside of your mat. Draw your shoulders back, pull your belly button forward, your heart forward as you lift your heart, lift your tailbone. Exhale as you round your spine, press into your fingertips, straighten through your arms. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale as you fill up the backside of your heart. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. One more time. Breath in. Breath out. And then make your way back to a neutral spine. You can shake out your hands one at a time. Okay, and then from here, we'll go ahead and keep doing a little bit more wrist stuff. So keep your right hand grounded as is. You'll flip your left hand so that your left palm faces up. Your pinky is on the outside, towards the outside of your mat. Your thumb is towards the inside. Now push your fingernails into the ground and then pull your shoulder back, your left shoulder back, and see if you can turn the inside of your elbow forward. So not the pointy part of your elbow, but the inner side of the elbow where your underarm is. You want to rotate that forward towards the top of your mat. And instead of collapsing down in the shoulder blades, see if you can press the ground away with that right hand. Spread your shoulder blades away from each other. Lean into your left fingernails a little bit. Take one more breath. And then slowly release that hand. Give your left hand a nice little shake. And ground your left hand. Flip your right. Ground the back of your right hand. Rotate the inside of the elbow forward. Right shoulder pulls back towards your right hip. Keep lengthening through the back of your neck as you press through your fingernails. One more breath. And slowly release. Shake out your right hand. All right, and we'll place both hands back down. Spread those fingers again. Your index fingers are parallel with each other. Tuck your toes under. Fill up the upper back again. So I want you to breathe into your upper back. As you breathe into your upper back, you're almost like pulling your belly in, right? And then press the ground away. Float your knees off of the ground. Pull your feet towards your hands, hands towards your feet. And just maintain this for a moment. Bring a little bit of weight forward into your fingertips. Try not to slide back. And let your breath get a little bit fuller. Sensation starts to trickle into your shoulders. I want you to hug your hands and your inner thighs towards one another. So forearm to forearm, as if you're trying to squeeze a block between your forearms, and same with your legs. Take a breath in. Then exhale, turbo dog. Bend your knees, or keep your knees bent rather. Press your hips up. Melt your heart towards your ankles. You can get soft through your heels. Especially as our knees are bent, see how long see how long you can get through your spine. Right? So press into your fingertips. Lift your armpits slightly away from the ground, but soften your heart. Relax your head. Then send your hips as far away from your hands as you possibly can. With your next inhale, lift your heels, roll your whole body forward. You might need to scooch your feet back a little bit, finding your plank. Keep your toes tucked under. Begin to lower your hips towards the ground. Pull your shoulders back. Lift your heart up. Keep your knees lifted. Take a big breath in. Push the ground away. Lengthen through the top of your head. And as you exhale, scoop your belly in and up as you pull back to downward dog. Okay. Take your right leg all the way up. Keep your hips square for a moment. Dial your right toes down. Press your left hip back. Get really straight through your right heel, heavy through your left heel. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, bring your right knee to your nose. Step your right foot forward. Come right up to your fingertips or blocks. As you inhale, I want you to lower your back knee to the ground. Keep your hands down. Lift your heart. Soften your shoulders down your back. As you exhale, lift your back knee. Flex your right toes towards your face. Straighten through your right leg. Draw your heart forward. So you can bow forward here, you guys, but I want you to lengthen your lower back a lot. So for me, I like to actually look forward towards my right foot. All right, so let's move with the breath. Inhale, we lower the back knee, bend the front, lift the heart. Exhale, straighten through both legs, lift your hips. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, straighten. This time as you inhale, bend your right knee. Keep your back knee lifted. Ground your left hand towards the left side of your mat. Pull your right hip back. Stretch your right arm forward. Then take your right hand behind your head and open up towards the right. Open up your right toes towards the right as well, turning your right toes out to a 45-degree angle. Draw your right hip bone back as you pull your heart forward, creating as much space out of your low back as you can. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, point your right toes forward. Take your right hand to the ground inside your right foot. Ground your back heel. Then walk your hands in between your legs, pivoting your right toes towards the left, so wide-legged forward fold. Put a bend in your left knee, keeping your right leg straight and active. And then a bend in your right knee. Just begin to make your way side to side in your lunges here. Keep your feet really firmly grounded unless you're coming all the way down to Skandasana. That's a pretty big hip opener. If you haven't moved already today, if that feels like too much, just stick with your side lunges, right? Just go side to side as it feels good. And I want you to focus on keeping all that length and space in your lower back. So avoid rounding your spine. And if that means keeping blocks under your hands, you can do so. All right, and the next time you come over towards your left foot, we're gonna walk our hands all the way to the back side of our mat. Point your left toes towards the back of your mat. Ground your right hand, lift your right heel. Take your left arm up. Pull your left hip back. This time we're not opening the foot, right? This is slightly different. We're just twisting to the left. Look up past your left hand. Draw your left hip back, heart forward. Either you'll stay here in the twist or ground your right heel. Step your left foot to the back of your mat. Find your side plank. Grip the mat with your right hand as you stretch up through your left. Allow your right shoulder to take on a little bit of work as you push the ground away from you actively. Stay with me for one more full breath. And then release. Take your left hand to the ground. Take it right back into your downward facing dog, facing the back. Press through your fingers, get long.
Nice big breath in. Big exhale out. Lift your left leg up. Dial your left toes down as you press that right hip back. Take up as much space as you can. Inhale. Exhale, left knee to nose. Step your left foot forward. Come right up to your fingertips or blocks. Lower your right knee to the ground as you lift your heart. Inhaling here. Exhale as you lift your back knee, straighten through your front leg. Pull your chest forward towards your left foot. Inhale, lower your back knee, lift your heart. Exhale as you straighten your legs. Inhale as you bend your knees one more time. Exhale as you straighten. Inhale, bend your left knee, keep your right leg active. Ground your right hand towards the right side of your mat. And stretch your left arm forward, lengthen through your left waist. Now go ahead and peel open to the left as you take your left hand behind your head and point your left toes out to a 45-degree angle to the left. Firm up your right quad, so right knee is straight, and then press your left foot into the ground. Pull it towards your left hip. Press into your right hand to twist your heart open towards the ceiling. Take a big inhale, big exhale, and then release. Left hand to the ground, point your left toes forward. Come back through the wide-legged forward fold, so right heel grounds. This time you'll walk your fingertips forward. And from here, both legs are straight. Take a big inhale, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, keep your arms really active as you let your heart be heavy. Relax your head. Then I like to sort of imagine that my chest is just like swaying in a hammock. So almost like you're moving your rib cage towards your left foot and then towards your right foot. That's a nice side body action in here. If it feels good to just hang in center, that's also fine. And if you want to continue with the movement, you'll imagine that you're scraping the inside of a barrel with your ribs. Okay, so you'll puff up your upper back to get the top of the barrel, and then round towards the left, down through the center, and then over to the other side. Take it the opposite direction if you're finding those funky movements. Everybody engage your legs. Bring a little bit of weight forward into the front of your feet so you're not locking out your knees. Awesome. Then everybody come back through center. Walk your hands back in underneath your shoulders, halfway lift. Point your right toes to the right. Walk your hands back to the top of your mat. Lift your left heel. Line up your left hand with your right toes. Stretch your right arm up. So again, not opening the right hip here. Right knee points forward. Right knee stacks over your your right ankle. Peel your heart open as you draw your belly button towards the top of your mat. Firm up your left leg. You'll either stay here or lower your left heel down and step your right foot to the back of your mat. Lengthen even here. Notice your left hip. Can you pull your left armpit away from your left hip? And reach up for something with your right hand as if you're literally reaching for something and it's pulling your right waist up. Take a big breath in, breath out, downward facing dog. All right, take a couple breaths. Spread your shoulder blades apart. Take a deep inhale. Deep exhale. Good, and then look forward. And just step your right foot forward on your next exhale. We're going to come right into warrior one. So ground your back heel at a 45-degree angle to the left. Your feet are hips distance apart. You can take your hands up to your hips, square off those hips, so draw your right hip back and then stretch your arms up. When you stretch your arms up, notice this left side. Flex that left quad, press through the outer left foot as you lift and lengthen up through your ribs. Keep all of that length. Breath in. Exhale, your hands come behind your back. Lift your heart high, breathe in. Breathe out, humble warrior. Draw your right hip bone back once you find the fold, so your hips are still square to the top of your mat. Relax your head. Let your breath bring a fullness into your back body even here. Take one more inhale. Stay for the breath out. Inhale as you reach back up, warrior one. As you exhale, take your right hand in front of your right foot, half moon. You're gonna right away open up that left hip. If you want to grab a block underneath your right hand, go for it. Then really work towards peeling open here so you get some length through your left waist, length through your right waist. If some of you want to take the bind, you're welcome to bend your left knee, reach back for your ankle. Everybody zip up your core. Take a nice full breath. And then slowly release your foot if you have it. Bend your right knee. We're going to step into our goddess pose. So your back foot will land. And then right away, bend your elbows, heels in, toes out. Goddess. Okay. Bend your knees nice and deep. Let your butt stick out for a moment. Lift your chest up. Take a big breath in as you exhale. Pull your tailbone towards the ground. Lift your navel up. All right, and then breathe here. We're activating these outer glutes to keep opening up the inside of the inner thighs, the hips. And then take your hands to your knees. Lengthen out of your low back and out of your neck. So push into your legs. You might lift your hips up a little bit, that's fine. See if you can straighten your arms. And from here, take a twist towards your right, dipping your left shoulder forward. Let your hips get heavy. Waist is long. Inhale, come back through to center. Exhale, twist the opposite way. A big breath in. Breath out. Inhale back through to center. Strong legs, come right back up to your goddess pose. And then open up to warrior two facing the left. So point your left toes straight to the back of the mat. Pivot on your back foot and slide it back a little bit. Stretch your arms forward and backward. Good. And then hug your inner thighs towards each other. Keep working the outside of this left hip. Go a little bit deeper. Take your right arm, wrap it behind your back. Some of you might grab your left inner thigh. Take your left hand behind your head. Lift your left elbow up as you press your left thigh away from you. Look up past your left elbow. Big breath in. Exhale, extended side angle. So either your left forearm can come to the ground, right arm can stretch overhead. Hello, Stella. Or left hand can come all the way to the floor. And then play with this one, you guys. This is sort of like a fun freedom class, right? So if you want to take the bind, take the bind. If you want to just enjoy this side body stretch like me, you can stay here. We'll take about 3 more breaths. Wherever you are, I want you to work on pulling your belly up and in, and then spiral your right ribs open towards the ceiling as you get as long as you can from your right heel to your right fingertips. Okay, big inhale. As you exhale, look down, take your right hand to the ground. Lift your right heel up, and then lower your right heel over to the pinky toe side of your right foot. Lift your left arm up, You're going to step your left foot all the way behind you into a wild thing. Okay, and then lift your heart, lift your right armpit up, drop your head back. Stretch through your left fingertips. Stay here for another moment. See if you can lengthen out of your lower back by pulling your ribs towards your right hand. Okay. Look at your right hand now. Point your right toes to the right. Press into your right arm, lift your left leg, pull it towards your chest, step it all the way back to the back top of your mat. Pivot on your back foot, come into warrior one. Ooh, okay, arms extend up. Lengthen from this back edge of your right foot all the way up through your quad as you rotate that right hip forward. Inhale to get longer through your waist. Exhale, interlace your hands behind your back. Lift your heart, breath in. Humble warrior, breath out. Allow your gaze to come back towards your right foot and let your heart follow your gaze. It's you want to surrender. It's called humble warrior for a reason. Get soft and heavy in your heart. Keep drawing your left hip back. Go ahead and inhale your way right back up. Warrior one. As you exhale, we're finding half moon again. So reach your left arm forward, press into your left leg, open your right hip and right shoulder. Take a moment just to find balance. And then maybe if you want, you reach back for your right ankle with your right hand. If you catch it, press your right foot into your right hand. Lengthen your heart forward. Okay. And softly release. Gracefully, we step back, goddess pose. So with control, land in your goddess. You'll have to pivot on your feet. Notice if your knees stack over your ankles. If they're a little bit inside, that's fine. We just don't want them over. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Drop those sitting bones down. We're here for 5 breaths. We're just holding this time. So integrate the shoulders. Lift your pelvic floor and your low belly. Hug your inner thighs in as if you're trying to drag your feet towards one another. And then do your best to stack your shoulders over your hips. Most people lean forward a little bit. Good. Fill up. 2 more breaths. Okay. Warrior two on that right side. Right toes point forward. Line up that right heel with the arch of your back foot. Bend your right knee nice and deep. Don't be afraid of the sensation. I am a little bit still out of shape over here, huffing and puffing. But just let the sensation come in. Trust yourself. Right, that one breath at a time, you move through it. We're not here for very long either. Let's settle in a little bit deeper into the right knee. Take your left hand behind your back. Grab a hold of your right thigh if you can. If not, that's fine. Take your right hand behind your head. Then stretch your right elbow up. Lengthen through your right waist. Big inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. Right elbow to thigh. Or your right hand can come to the ground. Your left arm can stretch overhead or straight up. Or you can take that bind. And even here, you guys, we want to find this lifting action in that lower belly area, right? So that your tailbone lengthens, your lower back is long. Believe it or not, even in this posture, it's really easy to find an accidental lower back bend, like big lower back bend, more so than our natural curve. So focus on length. Take a breath in. As you exhale, look down at your right foot. Take your left hand down. Lift your left heel. Lift your right arm up. Twisting to the right. Lower your back heel to the left. Step your right foot all the way back behind you. Finding that wild thing. Lift your heart. Lift your left armpit as you draw your right shoulder down. Relax your head. Take 3 more big, spacious breaths. And look at your left hand. Press down into your left hand. Point your left toes to the left. Lift your right foot. Step it all the way to the top of your mat. Come back to a wide-legged forward fold. All right, this time halfway lift. And then just bow forward. Take a nice fold here. All right, so you can grab your ankles. You can grab your big toes. You can walk your hands behind you. If your head hits the floor, you'll walk your feet closer to each other so you can really focus on getting a nice hamstring stretch here. Lift the muscles in the front parts of your legs. So you're gently lifting your knees here, leaning a little bit forward in your feet. Okay, next inhale, halfway lift. Come down into your frog pose. Thinking of you, Emil. All right, knees down. Go ahead and take your ankles directly behind your knees. If you want some support, you can grab your blocks. Once you line up knees over in line with your ankles, you can make your way down to your forearms. I'm going to take a block kind of underneath my chest and my forehead. Once you're on your forearms, inhale and slide your hips back. Think about lifting your tailbone up, lift your heart up. And as you exhale, round your spine, bring your hips forward, chin to chest. Lift your belly button away from the ground. Inhale, hips back, heart forward. Exhale as you round your spine. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Good. All right, and then make your way down into a neutral pose. So your hips are pretty much in line with your knees. You can take that block underneath your chest and forehead if you'd like. We're here for not so long today. Last time I taught this in class, I think we stayed for 7 minutes. Today will be probably about 1 minute. I want you to keep your feet active here. Relax your jaw, the space between your eyes. And take about 3 more full breaths. So instead of coming all the way out of this, you'll push yourself back up to your forearms. Take your big toes to touch behind you, or at least as close as you can get them together. And then slide your hips back towards your heels. So you're basically in a super wide-kneed child's pose. And then we're going to come back down into the fold again. This time, if you want to stretch your arms all the way forward, you can. If you have support, you can kind of just let them hang. And just notice how your stretch shifted a little bit, probably more towards your inner thigh groin area now. One more big breath in, filling up through your low belly, your side ribs, your chest, your throat. Exhale completely. And then make your way back up. You can walk your hands in. And then kind of push down to lift your hips. Walk your knees back in towards one another. Okay, and just come to sitting on your heels for a moment, just straight upright. Whew, good work, team. All right. You can grab your blocks if you have them. We're just going to come down onto our backs, you guys. If you want to swing through, you'll take your blocks, pull your knees in, slide your feet through, and then make your way down onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest, rock it out side to side. And then to finish up today, let's go ahead and take our left foot to the floor right in front of your left sitting bone. So really close to your left sitting bone. And then cross your right ankle over your left knee or thigh. Flex your right foot and just take your right hand and press your right hip away from you. Right thigh away from you, rather. Just pause here for a moment. And then reach up and grab a hold of your ankle, your right ankle with your left hand. And slowly release your left knee and the sole of your right foot to the ground on the left side. If your foot does not touch the ground or it's like really twisted, release your ankle from your left hand and walk your foot further away from your face. It's going to be less of a hip opener. Okay, the opposite goes if you want more of a stretch, pull your right foot closer to your left shoulder. And stretch your right arm up overhead. Press your right thigh away from your face and then pull your right sitting bone towards the floor underneath you. It's okay. Oh, good. There's a fire alarm happening, you guys. I don't know if you can hear that. It's okay. All right, go ahead and release your right foot. You can come back up through center, right foot grounds. And then just take your left foot, left ankle, and cross it over your right thigh. Take your left hand to your left thigh, press it away from you. Remember, you want your right heel really close to your right hip bone. And then we'll go ahead and reach up and grab a hold of your left ankle with your right hand. Take the twist over to the other side. So left foot will land on the floor. Slide your left thigh away from you as you pull your left hip towards the ground, and then stretch your left arm up overhead. Allow your jaw to soften. Anything that doesn't need to be working can just be soft and subtle. I'll take another big breath. And then softly go ahead and unwind. Bend both of your knees with your feet planted and just let your knees fall to the left and to the right like windshield wipers. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and make our way into Shavasana. You guys, if there's anything else that you need to take today, you are welcome to finish up on with whatever you want. Okay, still. Go ahead, and then make yourself nice and comfortable. So take any adjustments that you need, take any props that you need. And just bring your eyes to close. Sit. Still, no. Out. Go girl. And take a second to just consciously soften your physical body, your face, your belly, your breath, the palms of your hands, soles of your feet. And I invite you guys to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you want. I'm going to leave you guys here today because my building is having fire alarms. But please stay in your Shavasana at least for a couple minutes. Let yourself marinate here. And I'll touch base with you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.